And what is the deal with U.S. taxpayers footing the bill for thousands of illegal kids being spread out to school districts around the country? The federal government says they're going to register them for classes. Taylor doesn't find it remotely classy. Are you kidding me? My town's barely covering the legal kids who are here. This is going to make us Detroit. Someone stop the madness. Tim in Baton Rouge. How is it that these kids just walk in and my kids have to make room for them in their already crowded classes? Yeager writes, this really has to stop. Do I just show up in England and demand my kids be enrolled in a London school while they're sorting my paperwork out? Ridiculous. Chuck in Tennessee, thus far, I've yet to see one starving, skin and bones, and hungry member of illegal immigrant children and or adults. Most look well-fed, some even fat. Their clothes aren't bad either, despite 3 or 4 weeks of rough going. Maybe the trip wasn't bad or wasn't as rough as we were led to believe. There's no way of knowing, but it isn't what they first said. Alvin emails, first they were calling them kids. Turns out many are teenagers. Then they said they were here alone. Turns out many came with adults, and a lot of them their parents. What's the next lie we're going to expose? Well, I don't believe any of the children involved came with both parents, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, Ken via Yahoo, Neil, please start a Vote Them All Out campaign now so we have plenty of time to get the message out. And you have Mitt Romney now in a romp in a do-over. Can that be? A CNN poll shows the Republican nominee handily beating back Barack Obama if the election were held today by a hefty 9 points. Calvin, one of those with buyer's remorse. I voted for Obama and have been apologizing to everybody ever since. Ted via AOL. Remember when the president met with Putin and leaned over and told Putin to hang in there? What was he promising? Ted, I think you're talking about the infamous off-mic moment the president leaned over and whispered, not to Putin, but to then Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. But your alarm was justifiable then, as I think it's justifiable now. What deals were made? Ed in New York, say this about that stiff Romney. Everything he said about Putin, the VA, and healthcare was right. Everything. Well, he was eerily prescient, Ed. I'm going to give him that. Everything he warned about has indeed come to pass. But Roy in Texas says no matter. No way Romney would ever win. Neil, he lost the election because he walks like a woman. If he would come to Texas, I would show him how to walk like a man. And I guarantee you, he would run in 2016. He would win the election. I have no idea what you're talking about. Then the VA fix that is almost set, but spoiler alert, they are quibbling over the price. Many of you shocked to hear me say Republicans should just suck up the $18 billion in estimated cost and get the damn thing signed and done. We don't have a lot of time to waste, and I don't want Democrats using Republicans balking at cost as any excuse. Tim in Michigan, way to surrender your principles, fathead. What makes this different? Just the vets? Yeah, Tim, the vets. Sarah in Toronto. Cavuto, when you give up on how much a government initiative costs, I'm convinced living north of your border ain't a bad idea. Game over. Well, come on, it's not that bad. Alan in Virginia. Neil, I'm very happy there is a VA fix getting started. However, I hear no more about the SOBs that are responsible getting serious jail time. They kill veterans for money, for God's sake. Fully agree, Alan. But get vets the help first. Then these random musings, including John in Arizona, who's had it with apparently our very busy TV screen. Hey, Neil, what is the crap taking up 20% of my screen? Alert, alert, alert. Then words running across the bottom. If I want to read my news, I go on the internet or read a magazine. Your people must have ADHD. Enough. Now, you had other things. I just lost track of the email. I don't know where he was going. Anyway, Liz suggests just the opposite. Is there any way your graphics guys can cover all of your face? You scare me. Well, then don't write. Don't watch. How hurtful. Thoughts collected. Okay. John in Montana can't understand any of this. Seems to me that all of those small minds who write to bash you are either just jealous or doing it to see if you're going to read their email on the air. Pitiful, which is why I'm writing to defend and salute you and to see if you'll read my email on the air too. Well, I just did. Even though you had that smiley face thing, I hate that little, what do they call that, the smiley face? Is it like emoticon? Thank you. Ralph immediately knows emoticon. And emoticon can be a sad face too? Then a wink. Oh, we're not going there. All right. See you tomorrow.